Hello guys, we are back for Championship midweek predictions. There's some juicy games coming up on the Tuesday and Wednesday in the EFL Championship, and we have got predictions for you. I am joined by Sophie.
Yeah, I'm very happy getting into this one after our result at the weekend, so...
There was so much drama at the weekend.
There was, and a few upsets as well.
There were some crazy results we need to talk about.
Yeah.
Sophie and me did draw with our predictions. It was a 5-5 draw, which means Sophie still does have the edge over me in the overall predictions scores. And just before we get into the predictions, a big call to action. Do make sure you hit that like button as we go for 750 likes on this one. It is free to do, and we are only 10 subscribers away from 40,000. So do hit that subscribe button down below, as we could do it tonight with your great support. Make sure you are subscribed to get your EFL Championship fix, and we could hit 40,000 subscribers tonight. Thank you once again for your great support. Let's get into the predictions, Sophie. We're going to start at St Andrews, Sophie, for Birmingham City versus Huddersfield Town. Birmingham City, we mentioned the other day, their form has tailed off a little bit. It did seem to continue with a 2-0 defeat away to Norwich. Tricky game on paper, but Norwich weren't in great confidence coming into that one, so not great for Birmingham. They take on Huddersfield Town, who got a taste of their own medicine with a 1-1 draw against Ipswich, but they conceded late on this time round. It's been a decent start for Darren Moore, and he's now picked up the same amount of points as Sheffield Wednesday have so far this season, which is ironic after just 2 games. Huddersfield do look pretty good in general. They were looking alright towards the end of Neil Warnock anyway, and I think there's a few games unbeaten for them now. But they're away, so I do think Birmingham City could maybe get something out of this despite their form not being great. So I'm going to go for Huddersfield to get a third 1-1 draw here. I think Birmingham City need to get something. Ideally, they need a win. I think both sides have got to try and get the win here, because for Birmingham, it's a few games without a win. For Huddersfield, it's a couple games without a win. But I'm going to sit on the fence and say they're going to cancel each other out. 1-1. Yeah,
I'm in agreement with you. It's another draw for Darren Moore for me. That's going to make it 3 1-1s. And I don't think that's a terrible result either, especially being away from home. If any team I feel like could nick it, it's going to be Huddersfield for me. Birmingham have dropped right off it. I don't think that's going to be the case all season long. They're going to hit some good form at some point, but not just yet for me. So 1-1. You're
going for a 1-1 at St Andrews. Another Darren draw. Right, let's go to the next game, Sophie. This is a really interesting one at Portman Road as Ipswich Town take on Hull City. Now, this is a really good one. Two sides occupying those playoff places, and two sides that have only lost 1 game each in the Championship this season. I do make Ipswich...
Have just lost 1?
They've lost 1, and that was on the opening day.
Wow.
They're on a really good run. The reason they're not quite on Ipswich's level in the table is because they've had a few more draws. So I make Ipswich Town slight favourites coming into this one, but I don't want to rule Hull City out of getting something from this game. They look very good. It was a draw against Plymouth at the weekend, and they just keep churning out results. If they don't win, they make sure that they get a draw. Ipswich Town showed a very slight crack with the draw against Huddersfield. It does show that Ipswich Town are human. They're not going to win every game this season because they have been flying. I think we're going to get a few goals in this one. Ipswich Town look fantastic. Hull City look fantastic. I want to give them both a win, but I can't. I'm going to go for a Desmond 2-2.
Yeah, I was really tempted to say a draw, but I feel like I'm going to have to lean towards Ipswich. I didn't realise quite how good Hull City's form was, purely because they have picked up a few draws, and obviously Ipswich drew at the weekend, which wasn't the best result for them considering their fine form, but I feel like they will get back to winning ways. But I see it's been a tight one. It's evenly matched teams for me, but for me Ipswich just tip it 2-1.
2-1 to the Tractor Boys. It's a difficult one to call. Hull City's only defeat has come in East Anglia. Will they get another defeat there? Right, let's go on to the next game, Sophie. This one's interesting as well. At the Riverside, it's Middlesbrough versus Cardiff City. Once again, before the international break last time, I'd have been like, don't know about this one. Two sides not in great form. But hang on a minute, Cardiff City have started to pull out some really good results. And Middlesbrough look like they've turned a corner as well with some back-to-back wins in the Championship, still flying in the Carabao Cup. I mean, Cardiff City are in the playoffs now, which is incredible. But Middlesbrough look like they're going to try and start moving up towards the playoffs. Really difficult one to call here, Sophie. This is really boring from me, but I'm going to go for a third draw in a row. I'm going to go Middlesbrough 1, Cardiff 1. Once again, two teams that are in such good form, I can't see either of them losing.
Yeah, I can see why you've backed a draw here, because I'm finding it really hard to separate the two. It could go either way, or they could just cancel each other out. I am going to lean towards the home side. I feel harsh on Cardiff saying that because they're in some really good form.
Yeah.
But I feel like Middlesbrough have just started to turn a corner, so I'm going to go towards them. 2-1.
2-1. Ooh. I don't want to sit on the fence for those games,
No,
but I
it's
just
hard
think
not.
we've got some really interestingly poised and finely balanced fixtures.
Yeah.
Right, next up, Sophie, we're going to Home Park for Plymouth Argyle versus Millwall, and this is one where I'm not going to go for a draw. For me, there's two stories here. One's positive, one's negative. Plymouth have come up and they've really found their feet in the Championship, and especially at home. Their last home game, remember, 6-2 against Norwich. And we did say it was a difficult game away at Hull. We did just lean towards Hull for that one, but Plymouth still got a draw.
Good point.
They are doing so well, and they look very comfortable at the moment in the Championship. And like I say, they're playing Millwall where there's that negativity now. I mean, Millwall do have good players, and on their day they can beat a lot of teams in the Championship, but a 3-0 defeat at home to Swansea at the weekend. Really bizarre.
Yeah.
The fans, a lot of them turning on Gary Rowett. It's a pretty ugly situation. Millwall are in the bottom half, and I'm going to go for Plymouth, especially being at home. I reckon Millwall will be riled up to try and give this a go, but still see Plymouth getting it over the line. Plymouth 2-1.
I'm going to say 3-1 Plymouth. I feel like on their day, Plymouth have shown that they can score goals, and coming up against a team that are low in confidence, they're starting to turn on the manager, the pressure is on him, so they do need a result, which I don't see them pulling out, to be honest. I see them getting a goal, but I don't see them getting anything here. So Plymouth for me, quite convincingly, 3-1.
3-1 to Plymouth Argyle. They are very good at home and they look very good in the Championship so far this season. Next up, Sophie, we're going to Stoke City versus Southampton. Now this one's become a bit more interesting as well because both sides weren't in great form, but they both got a really good win at the weekend. Southampton beat Leeds 3-1, and although we tipped Leeds heavily for that one, we do know that Southampton have the good players, and when their football clicks, they will get results. But Stoke City, what a result at Bristol City. They were 2-0 down and came back to win away from home 3-2. And I would say Stoke City's strong suit is usually when they're at home, but they proved me wrong on that occasion. I'm going to be boring, Sophie. It's time for another draw. Stoke and Southampton both got good wins at the weekend, and I really don't know which way this one's going to go. So I'm going to go down the middle and say a 1-1 draw.
I mean, Stoke really did surprise me. I didn't think they had that in their locker to come back from being 2-0 down to not just get a point, but to win the game away from home. Great result. Can they back it up again? I'm going to go no. I feel like at times, as we've said, Southampton can pull out a great result and they need to get that consistency going. They need to back it up with another one. And I feel like Russell Martin will be looking to do that in this midweek fixture. I'm going to back him to win 2-0.
2-0 Southampton. Yeah. Interesting. Well, who knows? It's a massive game. Yeah, we'll see how that one plays out. And a clean sheet would be massive for Southampton. Right, let's go to the next game, Sophie. We're going to the Hawthorns, West Bromwich Albion versus Sheffield Wednesday. Both sides with contrasting results at the weekend. Sheffield Wednesday losing 3-0 at home to Sunderland on the Friday night. I predicted that one myself. But
which is a great call because first half 3-0, it's like this can be a goal fest. And then they just took the foot off the gas.
Stayed
for you,
stayed 3-0. But one thing I can say I definitely didn't get right is West Brom winning 4-0 at Preston. What a result for the Baggies. And I've seen some clips of the West Bromwich Albion fans at Deepdale, and they were fantastic. Now they're back at home against Sheffield Wednesday, who haven't won yet. I'm going to go all in for the Baggies here. I think Sheffield Wednesday maybe get a goal, but no chance of they getting a result here. I'm going to go West Brom to get another good win. 3-1.
No, another 4-0 for me.
Whoa.
I'm not impressed by Sheffield Wednesday at all. I don't think the fans are.
But
I feel
quick
for
word,
them. Okay.
yeah, sympathy for the Sheffield Wednesday fans.
I feel for them so much because obviously your owner, I won't say on this channel what I think of him, but to come out before the game with that is just absolutely appalling. So I do feel for you guys, and obviously there needs to be some changes. I don't think you're going to have the minerals to stay up. I've said that beginning of the season, I'll say it again now, it's not looking good. West Brom against Preston, fair play, great result. Coming up against a lot easier opposition, 4-0 again.
4-0, wow. I don't know how many 4-0s we do on this channel, but that's a big prediction. Right, Sophie, let's go to the CBS as we move on to Wednesday's games. It's Coventry City up against Blackburn Rovers. Things feel a bit better now. I don't think Coventry were amazing in the first half, but we were very good in the second half. And the most important thing I said before that game is get the win. However it comes, get the win. I'm not going to nitpick and say, oh, you know, the first half wasn't great or we didn't keep a clean sheet. We got the win. That's what we need. We're moving up the table. And my approach is the same to this game. I don't care how it comes.
How ugly it is, just get it done.
I want 3 points again. And I feel confident. I feel like now Ellis Sims is up and running.
Yeah.
This is something we've said for a while. Can he then blast off and get another goal and then another goal and just start taking off? It's a thing that happens. Strikers play on form and confidence. And Blackburn Rovers come into this, albeit they played a top Leicester City side, but with a 4-1 defeat. I think Coventry City grind this out. I think it'd be close. Blackburn have the quality to score, but I'm going to go Coventry City 2-1.
Yeah, at times Blackburn look very, very good. Is it Schmodix, however you say it?
Yeah, Sammy Smodix.
Schmodix, oh, what a player he is. He's in fine form, and I am worried about him coming into this. However, we've got Ellis Sims up and firing now, and I'm hoping he can carry it on into this game. I feel like it could be a quite high-scoring one, but I'm going to back us to win again. 3-2 City. Ooh,
3-2. Go for 5 goals at the CBS. Right, I like it. Let's move on to the next game, Sophie. We're going to Ellen Road, where Leeds United take on Queen's Park Rangers. Both sides lost 3-1 on the Saturday. Leeds United were playing away to Southampton, who weren't in great form, but we still know the quality that Southampton have. QPR, well, what can you do? They came up against Coventry City. I fancy Leeds for this one. I think QPR have got to be kicking themselves after that Coventry game because, as I say, in the first half, I thought they were slightly better. And Ben Wilson pulled out a really good save. But Leeds United, despite that bad result at Southampton, I think they could just switch it back to a good result here. And if they win this one, then the Southampton result can be slightly forgotten about. I think that's gonna be the theme for Leeds United this season. You know what they're like. They're such a brilliant club when it comes to chaos. It's like watching a soap. There's always a bump in the road, but it's pretty good in general. And Leeds United, I think, get a nice 2-0 win here.
See, I feel like this one could be quite convincing again because Coventry City penetrated QPR easily at times, and Leeds have better quality. So I feel like it could be another high-scoring game. I don't see QPR getting one in this one, so I'm going to say 3-0 Leeds.
3-0 Leeds, yeah. I do tend to back Leeds on most weeks, but there is always that one result.
Yeah, we did say 3-0 at the weekend and they lost, so QPR fans might be clinging on to that.
Yeah. Let's go to the next game, Sophie, which is at the King Power. Top of the table, Leicester City take on Preston North End, who are still third despite that terrible result against West Bromwich Albion. Two sides that would have been unbeaten coming into this game if Preston had not lost to West Brom. Even before that, I think I would have been leaning towards Leicester on this one. But those results at the weekend where Leicester have won 4-1 and Preston have lost 4-0 have really compounded that. I don't want to be harsh to Preston because they've had a really good start, but I think the confidence will be low and Leicester City are easily, for me, the best team in the league right now. So I think Leicester are actually going to win this 3-0.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 2-0, but I might give Preston a goal, you know, because Preston aren't a bad team. They've just got to take that one on the chin on the weekend. It's a really poor result, but you pick yourself up, you move on. You've got a game midweek. It is against Leicester, so it's a tough game to try and bounce back. That's why I don't see them getting anything bar a goal. So I'll say 2-1 Leicester.
Oh, okay, 2-1.
So a bit of a tighter game than yours.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Right, Sophie, next up we go to the Stadium of Light. It's Sunderland taking on Watford. Watford are down in 20th, which is really bizarre. I just don't know what to say. The pressure's certainly going to be on the manager. I mean, we sometimes say that Watford sack their managers very harshly, but at the moment, it's justifiable because they've had a really poor start to the season. Sunderland, on the other hand, they are really up and running. They had a slow-ish start where they didn't win for about 3 or 4 games, but they've flown up the table. And what I said before the Sheffield Wednesday game is they can be ruthless, and they did put Wednesday to the sword. It could have been more than 3.
I think they could have been more ruthless, to be honest, because as I said, second half took the foot off gas because they didn't need to. 3-0 up at half time. Don't need to do anything more. Saw out the game. They've
got very good attacking players, Sunderland. Jack Clark.
He's a player, isn't he?
He is a great player. I'm going to go Sunderland to win 2-1 on this occasion. I think the quality of Watford could put up a fight, but at the Stadium of Light, with Sunderland in such good form. Going to go for them to get another win. 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2-0. Sunderland, a little bit more comfortable for me. They look very good at times. I will say in fairness of Watford, I feel like they can play some good football at times as well. It's just not going well, and your defence isn't looking too good, and I feel like Sunderland will punish you for that. So 2-0.
2-0. Okay. Right, Sophie, we're going to go down to South Wales. This one's quite interesting now. Swansea City take on Norwich City. Norwich are higher in the table, but Swansea just seeming to find their groove. I think it's back-to-back 3-0 wins. They beat Sheffield Wednesday, then they beat Millwall away 3-0, so fair play to the Swans. And Michael Duff, we did say might take a few games for him to find his feet, but maybe now we're starting to see Swansea in their mojo. They've got decent players that they signed. They've adapted to the fact that Joel Perreault's gone out the door and the fact that Russell Martin's not there anymore. But I think Swansea City look a force now, and I fancy them for this one. Norwich did get a good win against Birmingham at the weekend, but I think Norwich do seem to be a bit hit and miss, don't they?
Are.
Still a bit hit and miss for me. So I'm going to go Swansea to edge a 2-1 win.
Yeah, I'm really tempted to sit on the fence with this one and say a draw, because I feel like at times they are quite evenly matched, especially with Swansea hitting some better form. But I am going to lean towards the informed team as well, and I'm going to agree with you. 2-1 to the Swans.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We're matching on that one. 2-1. Okay, there's one game left, Sophie. We're going to go to the New York Stadium as Rotherham United take on Bristol City. Now, Rotherham are just not in great form. They're slipping down the table. The only thing that's preventing them from going bottom is Sheffield Wednesday. So Rotherham sit in 23rd place. This is a decent opportunity. I always do think Rotherham are a better home side. Their form on the road's not been great so far this season. Bristol City, though, they're hardly being inspiring at the moment, and they threw away a 2-goal lead at home to Stoke City. This one's difficult. I was tempted to go for like a goalless draw, but I think if there's these sort of games in front of Rotherham, they need to win them.
Yeah.
The reason they stayed up last season is because they had such a decent start and they put themselves in such good stead, and they kind of got over the line with that great start in the end. I think they need to keep themselves within touching distance. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tip Rotherham to win this one. I'm going to go 1-0 to the Millers.
Yeah, I won't lie, I was actually really tempted to say the same, but I am going to sit on the fence and say a draw, purely because I feel like if either team goes 1-0 up, I feel like they'll throw it away. It is a tough one, because I am inclined to say that Rotherham have got a bit more fight in them, especially at home, so I can see why you're backing them to win and it to be a low scoring one. But yeah, I'm going to be boring and say 1-1.
1-1, there you go. That wraps up our championship predictions. Do make sure, of course, to get your championship predictions down in the comments. Obviously, you know the drill. Do make sure you've hit that thumbs up button as well. It is free to like, and we're going for 750 on this one. And we are so close to 40,000 subscribers, so please do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who's already got involved. Thank you for joining me in this video, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you all in the next one. Good luck to everyone in midweek, and peace out.